What it do? Let's get magical. Shout out to MT versus the world. Let's get negative. Gemini is a positive sign energy, though. I just wanted to say that. Who is ready for some magic? Shannon is ready for some magic. Shout out to Ethereal Body driving home listening. Shout out to Nikki D. Shout out to King James. Can you guys hear me well? I wanted to do this one outside. Um, it's 7 p.m. over here. I think the sun's about to set in like another hour or so. Um, whew, this new moon ceremony, shout out to Buddha AQ. This new moon ceremony is really shout out to Heartfelt Vibrations. We had a really dope consultation earlier. Um, and shout out to the Aquarians out there. All right. Uh, Shout out to the late degree Capricorn risings and suns and moons. Woof. There's a lot I want to talk about naturally, Gemini energy, right? But there's a lot I want to talk about to y'all because we could take all of the concepts you've been thinking about and, I've been mentioning, and I could confidently say it's definitely time uh, to move forward with this activation. So I'm just going to kind of give you an idea of now until the full moon in Capricorn. Um, Full moon in Capricorn and new moon in Cancer is definitely going to be ridiculous. 717 conference about to be lit. I got my tickets to Atlanta, to Georgia, to Atlanta the other day. So I'm gonna be there July 15th. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, I'll update you guys with more information for those of y'all who want to see. Shout out to Dave B and everyone else who is showing up there. It's definitely gonna be a vibe, yo. Um, I know Dave B is a Pisces, so for him to kind of be engineering this, I'm really looking forward to that. At 717 Conference on Instagram, if you want to check that out. It's going to be awesome speakers. I might even perform a song or two. It's going to be artists. I think it's going to be a really awesome congregation. I know Zay Ton of Vision is going to be there. So, we got some heavy hitters that are going to show up. Angels of Enlightenment, thank you very much. Okay. Basically, shout out to Ton of Vision. All right. Basically, y'all, this is I'm so excited about this. It's really hard for me to put this into words because what it feels like is you ever dream of something for so long, you know what I mean? Oh, shout out to Rebecca Resser. Appreciate you. I still keep in my heart what one thing, Rebecca, that you brought to my attention. It's so nice to see you too. I haven't heard from you in a minute. It's really nice to hear from you. I remember when you told me about the asteroid of later success. That has stuck with me for a minute. You know what I mean? Um, that would be dope. Shout out to Limitless Possibilities. That was really awesome. Shout out to Shay. All right, we made it. You ever dream for something? And shout out to those of you tapping into the magic. T Win, enjoyed your album. All right, if you haven't heard his album, it's pretty dope. Really dope. You ever dream about something that you felt was out of reach and now it actually kind of not, I don't want to say materializes, but you're getting ready to think about it in a way that due to your direct experience isn't so much of a dream. This level of adjustment, no, my phone did not just, okay. This level of adjustment, I love it for sure. It's only the beginning. This level of adjustment that's happening to you perceptually is preparing for you from this end of Gemini season to the end of Sagittarius season to express the supernatural quality of your abilities and of your talent in ways you've never expressed it before and in ways that are decidedly advanced and, let's just be honest, supernatural. Okay. Let's say you spent the past 10 years learning how to do a basic skill like, run a 10-second 100 meter. Now, post 2023, because 2022 and 2023 was that really good apex point. 2022, Jupiter and Pisces, 2023, Jupiter and Aries. It's like now, based off of that ability to run a 10-second 100 meter, now you could use that as a base to fly, or you could use that as a base to do something supernatural based on that. And that's just a regular analogy, right? But the level of this adjustment process, once again with Neptune, because we're having this new moon square Neptune, right? 26 degrees. The moon is about 25 degrees Gemini. We're 1 degree away. And I titled this what I titled this because let's look at this for what it is. The new moon in Gemini is an activation. That conjunction, the moon and the sun at 26 degrees are conjunct 0 degrees, right? Whenever you think about the science of a sextile, the moon is 60 degrees away from the sun. The sextile is like opening a door, third house from the sun, that adjusts your attitude. It sets your mindset. But the conjunction is the Aries signature. We are planting the seeds that will harvest when the moon is full in Capricorn. One of the most powerful full moons are going to have with Pluto back in Cap. So I want you to be so excited because what we know that the new moon is an activation. And every time you see a conjunction between any point, you are activating power in cardinal signs, perception in mutable signs, energy in fixed signs. So we're activating what? A true perspective. And this is really important. Shout out to Forest Fairy Tarot because we've spent this whole Gemini season drawing off of the new moon in Taurus that activated a grounded understanding of what ideas to program in our brain. The past 3.5 weeks, we programmed, shout out to Nikki D, love the letter you sent me. All right. We programmed the past 3.5 weeks in our brain. And now this new moon in Gemini is you pressing and activating that to move forward in the direction of your feelings. Shout out to Chad and motherfucking Maverick. Okay. And the reason why I want you to be excited about this is we know that the conjunction point, right? If the sextile is 60 degrees, if the opposition is 180 degrees, which is completion, or it's the completion of what we activated, that conjunction point, especially with the sun and moon, is 0 degrees. It's an activation. 0 degrees is correlated to Aries, right? So what are we activating? The true perspective. What is Gemini? Gemini is that initial change that directs your perspective into an initial direction. So if it feels like things are beginning to change, that's because not only are they beginning to change, but at the final degrees of Gemini, you are activating a new magic ability. How excited would you be if you're activating a new magic ability? And because of the way we've been inundated to look at this metaphysical, supernatural aspect of ourselves as science fiction or as fantasy, we may exaggerate the quality of this. Activating a new magical ability is as simple as thinking a new thought. That's it. It's not, we can decorate and add all sorts of fantasy elements to it, like magic spells. Thank you, Opal Reflection. Like magic spells, and you know what I'm saying, like magic wands. But it's literally as simple as taking your will, your focus, and intention. Remember, we're activating a new intention with this new moon, and you are now activating a new idea. The beautiful thing about this is the new moon itself is facilitating this new idea. So it's being revealed to you. So we know that this new moon in Gemini, Amy Kennedy, that's beautiful. That's be stand on it. That's beautiful. You're activating this new idea, right? And now what is it square? Neptune and Pisces. The last time Neptune was in the third decan in Pisces was in the 1800s. Pause for dramatic effect. So that square makes a 90-degree angle. And that's what makes this one of the most magical new moon cycles. Where if we look at Neptune to the 10th house of the sun and moon in Gemini, your understanding and conscious awareness of this new idea you're getting ready to plant the seeds in and then harvest with the full moon is being heavily influenced by metaphysical supernatural dynamics. Okay. So we have had a new moon in Gemini every year. So the whole concept of activating new ideas or magical abilities we have done every year. It's the natural progression of as we align and grow into our beings, moving forward with new ideas, right? Just like every year you learn something new. You go to the sixth grade, then the seventh grade, then the eighth grade, and every year your mindset evolves. But the nature of how we have progressed to this point with Neptune that's squaring this is now, if you think that Gemini 90 degrees to Pisces in this fourth house of understanding is taking everything unseen and metaphysical about the properties of your soul, and it is giving you intellectual awareness, sun, and understanding, moon, of unseen principles that you have been engaging with since before you were born. And get this, a way you can finally put into words. Many of you mistake Virgo for Gemini, where if you're too caught up in the details, see, the earth dimension is the lowest dimension, and you may have been tricked into being too focused in this illusionary perception of what's real, which this universe is not locally here or real, right? So the true reality exists in the 4D of your mind. Those of you who have accepted that you are constantly emitting a frequency based off of the mindset you think will enjoy this new moon, because there's nothing you have to do but to just maintain the thought process that beams out to the frequent with your frequency to the bandwidth around you or the universe around you of what state you want to be in. Aries is doing, Taurus is having. Gemini, like the rest of the mutable signs, is being. So ask yourself, what is it that you want to be? This is the basic principle of manifestation and also creation. Because your mission, should you choose to accept, is to plant these seeds of being, and to, now that you've programmed your brain, be that in what you think as if you are already in it. So you're not doing anything to gain a result. You already have the result in your mind and you're operating from there. Okay. And the reason why you want to get super excited is, unlike previous years where Uranus was still in Aries, it's in Taurus. North Node is 1 degree, Jupiter is in Taurus. So the 12th house nature of this new moon relative to Neptune and Pisces, which, if you're not aware, Jupiter is sextiling Saturn retrograde. That's station getting ready to retrograde. So the metaphysical, systematic totality of every single belief that's possible to have is being anchored by this expansion principle of Jupiter, so that more than ever you can physically sense these metaphysical dynamics through your body. Okay, transcend the physical function of elements of your own body and mind that you may have thought was just science fiction and fantasy. Ladies and gentlemen, moving forward more than ever before, you will be more aware of you using your superpowers than ever. We are finally coming out, like, there's still more stages of this, but you are finally coming out of this fog over the next 2 years of the synchronicities. For those of you who ignore, like many of you have been in that in between point, right? Where you know that something beyond you exists. You know that there's an expression of yourself that's drawing you to where you can express yourself in ways that are seemingly impossible or fantasy. And you've experienced elements of this over the past 5 years. Shout out to Amy Kennedy. Welcome to the team, right? But you may be wondering how, right? Like, how do I master and step into this? And if you've been feeling this, please comment exclamation mark. It's like, you have special or unique innate abilities. You use elements of this, right? But you might feel a little bit stuck in between how exactly to express this. And if you commented an exclamation mark, right? This is very important because I think you'll be happy to understand that you are quintessentially coming out of that transition point to where moving forward from this point, literally Cancer, Aries is raw power. Cancer is psychic power. Okay. And the psychic power that's opposing Pluto and Capricorn is fully awakening you post Pluto Aqua to where now Pluto Aqua gave you knowledge of what you've been doing. So once this goes back into Capricorn, you're going to know a lot more what to do and how to do it. And moving forward from this, this is going to give you more of an awareness of actually using these abilities. Whereas up until this point, perhaps, yeah, you've been using these abilities, right? But maybe you might have been unconscious to how. Shout out to Millieverse TV. Okay. We have just concluded the activation phase of this cycle. So activation comes in three stages: Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. We had the new moon in Aries, we had the new moon in Taurus, and now the new moon in Gemini is literally square Pisces, the activation of supernatural abilities. Okay. How would you feel if you knew that in less than 2 hours, in less than an hour and a half, in less than an hour, you are activating 26 degrees Gemini abilities that are supernatural? You've been feeling this over the past few weeks. The alignment through synchronicities and the synchronization process was to align your body's physiology and your physical senses with your brain and your spirit, your mind, and what it picks up from beyond this realm, so that in alignment, you can express this through. Now, the supernatural quality of this is Neptune and Saturn and Pisces, and of course, mainly Uranus, Jupiter, and the North Node in Taurus. Uranus and Jupiter is what takes this element that you have been doing since your whole life, since birth, but it's now anchoring at a much higher quality, a much strengthened physical quality, the ability for, through your five senses, Taurus, to actually physically experience through Virgo season what it is you're doing. The more excitement you put into this, the better, because you're getting ready to plant new seeds. The ideas you think into this is what's going to have these seeds grow when the moon is in Libra. All right, as the sun enters Cancer, and you'll start to see the seeds grow from the ground, because Cancer season is going to activate this new magical ability through the psychic power that you are going to be mind blown. And it's going to feel like, oh my gosh, it's online. We're actually doing it. And the thing is, this was a lot of you the past 2 years. So this isn't even the first time you're doing this, but we have to honor 2023 with Jupiter that's gone into Aries. Because this is the next cycle of evolution, you've made it to the graduating class to this next supernatural cycle of evolution. Up until this point, it was so subtle. It's not subtle anymore. Like the next 3 months, we're getting ready to step into integration. So integration is Cancer, Leo, Virgo. And now that we've activated what ability we're going to use, now it's time to master it. Ladies and gentlemen, by this time in 3 months in Virgo season, you will have mastered supernatural abilities that once we step into Libra, you're going to use towards other people. And that's going to break us through Sagittarius, to where now we're seeing the opposite of this Gemini season, new abilities that we've broken through to ascend our very beings. Now we're going to do it again like the rest of the decade, but this is where it begins relative to she knows what's up, relative to this new Jupiter cycle that we stepped into. Okay. So this is the activation of supernatural abilities where I'm going to say this again, but it's as simple as just putting a name to it. What is it called? This is ability creation. Don't get so caught up on the details because there's no Virgo. So if you get too caught up in a lot of you, the problem or the issue that a lot of you may be having is trying to make sense of it. Infinity is trying to make sense of it in a way that makes sense relative to society. Remember, Virgo is a social sign. Unless you actually have Virgo energy in your chart, still, you don't want to get caught up in the Virgo trap of trying to make practical sense of this because this is still what you're creating actively with your mind. All of that in less than 3 months, you're going to know how. Okay. You are the sense that it's making. And you're going to be led by the hand and guided through this process as soon as this activation starts. Some of the hardest part was this beginning activation. Once we step through this new moon portal, it's ready for the ride. Okay. I want to really speak to the science of transcendence. If this was just a regular Gemini season, that would be one thing. But because we have all this Taurus energy, that's 12th house to the Gemini, it is transcending your physiology and physical function relative to the new ideas the new moon in Gemini is activating, which is a fancy way of saying if you were to levitate for the first time, the physical sensation of you levitating will transcend what you believed your physical body could do, enabling you to like think in a new direction. So I want you to imagine that in an hour you're levitating for the first time or you're activating an ability for the first time. Remember how in the magic moon message yesterday I made where I gave you that example about how like I was listening to Benny the Butcher and that song just came up out of nowhere. Like I tried on my own to force it, it didn't work. And then it just happened by itself, right? There is an unseen metaphysical facet of you. The you that is watching me right now exists 99% of unseen metaphysical potential that's not physical. Okay. And the reason why that's important is your ability to now harness that in a way that's never been harnessed is opening up limitless omniscopic possibilities for you. And the reason why you want to get excited is that transcendence point. By the time the North Node goes in Aries, is go time. But that transcendence point, basically, North Node in Aries is you using your superpowers to carve through this Chiron healing. And so that you can get ready for North Node Pisces, Saturn, Neptune. North Node Pisces, Saturn, Neptune 2024 into 2025 is you now coming into the collective scope of this next level of how everyone has now reached that apex and peak of what their ability is. North Node in Aries is taking abilities you've just activated now and you're mastering it through the next couple of years. So you're doing stuff with it. You're doing missions with it. But the reason why I want to use this analogy or speak like this, which is still an understatement, is the Taurus 12th house aspect in transcending this is bearing through extra dimensional energy. So the Neptune in Pisces and Uranus in Taurus adds a supernatural and extra dimensional element to your ability to use your own physical body to harness energy from outside of this realm. Hence, extra dimensional, extra outside of this dimension. Supernatural relative to Neptune and Pisces, speaking of the metaphysical dynamics that are supernatural. Aquarius, of which is the sign of the supernatural, with which Pluto since the 1700s has awakened. So we're here, baby. And what many of you are called to really pioneer is to break through the agents in the matrix who are reinforcing old traditions and fallacious ideology. Quantum mechanics scientists proving that this universe isn't locally real. So people who are still parroting bullshit like you're not magical, all this isn't real, that's scientifically not true. Science, quantum entanglement, scientifically it is not true. And so this new truth is being revealed. And the most important thing is you don't have to know how to do it. It's being done through you. You're activating a new communication with facets of yourself, right? Inside of you. The kingdom of heaven is within you that will completely change your mind. The new moon in Gemini is activating a change of your mind, and the 10th house, Neptune Pisces, is inducing a transcendence of your beliefs. This new moon cycle is the formula to activate new superpowers over the next 3 weeks, 3 months that you're going to integrate. Okay, we all stuck in a bad Pisces stream. So I know I'm parroting myself saying a lot of saying this over and over, but I'm just so excited because just like I experienced that, you're going to really be experiencing what it's like to activate this. And this is where the supernatural extra dimensional dynamics with Neptune square this basically in less than an hour over the next 72 hours to 2 weeks coming into the full moon in Capricorn. You are going to be experiencing some, like every single synchronicity that you have ever experienced in your entire life is getting ready to converge and intertwine into a full realization of why everything is happening. Remember, Gemini answers what, Virgo answers how, Sagittarius answers what it means, right? If Gemini is the word in the dictionary, Sagittarius is the meaning of the word, and Pisces answers why. So with Neptune and Pisces, why squaring the sun and moon in Gemini, what, you are coming into major answers for why you've been thinking what you've been thinking. You are such a genius that elements of your own genius escape yourself. But one thing I want you to be mindful of is that not everyone who acts like they're sleep or sheep are sleep or sheep. Even if people are unconscious, there's a reason why certain people reinforce societal traditions and opinions in an effort to keep you stuck based on bullshit. Okay. So you can fly right now. Like you have life force energy. You have the ability to generate ki and chakra. Okay, and no one has to tell you how to do this. You have already done the work the past 3 months to activate this. In less than an hour, this 26-degree conjunction is going to activate this new mindset that you spent the past 3 weeks programming in your spiritual intelligence. Agents are out here for real. And most of these agents are acting like your friends, like they mean well. Okay, even if their words are right, the frequency is letting you know, and it's nothing that you have to worry about. It's nothing that you have to ostracize. All the work is done inside. Okay. And letting this happen is important because it's already done. Shout out to Manifesting Monster. I recommend that YouTube channel. Akshay is amazing. One of his catchphrase is the best. If I said it, I already did it. That is the new moon in Gemini motto. If I said it, I already did it. Okay. And the reason why this is very important is the word magic that's going to facilitate the integrity of your own will to align with what you say to strengthen your swords. This activation phase with the Neptune square may have made it seem like the work you've been doing has had minimum effect. Boy, were you wrong. Everything post this new moon is going to blossom moving forward, all the work you've done over the past 3 months. And the next 3 months is integrating and perfecting that work. But you really want to pat yourself on the back. You want to get really excited, guys. Mars and Venus is in Leo. You Leo women especially are looking scrumptious, but hot. But this is emboldening the passion that enables you to literally drive forward your will. And because this Neptune is squaring the sun and moon in Gemini, there's something that only you can see relative to how unique you are that is getting ready to unfold itself and it's yours and it's only yours. And you're going to be able to play with this so that by Virgo season, you've mastered it. You're going to bring this mastery in the Libra season with other people and break through by Sagittarius. And then by Pisces, we're going to conclude. And then the final level of this activation, Jupiter and Gemini, relative to the evolution cycle, is going to bring us to yet another level, North Node in Aries. So Saturn that's retrograding, if you saw my Saturn retrograde transit talk, is going to reevaluate your belief system, belief Pisces system Saturn, and dispel the myth that you never knew what you were doing. You always knew what you were doing. And you're going to realize you've been warping reality masterfully. Your timing is masterful. Okay. It's just going to align so much better. It's going to feel like a video game, if anything. And why this is also really, really, really beautiful is with that Neptune square, Neptune is going to show you the completion of facets in your own mental mind and thinking that you thought were just fantasy that were always real. So that by Virgo, they materialize in your face starting now. So basically, relative to this new moon activation, Gemini season gave you an idea of what your abilities are. Okay. With this new moon in Gemini, if you had a name, a phrase, a feeling, a state to be in, because remember, this is activating a state of being, the initial change. What would you call it? What are you being guided to call it? I want you to set the intention. Everyone, right now, as we are congregating together, 323 people, I want us all to set the intention to activate our true ability, because you have all sorts of abilities, right? But there's a true ability you have that no one else can do that you can do. So we are setting the intention right now relative to everyone here to activate our true abilities. And then we also set the intention for everyone else, okay, to activate their true abilities. So now you have 325 people setting the intention for you to activate your true ability. How fucking awesome is that? This is how awesome we are. This is how awesome we are. Because we just did this right now, as soon as I end the broadcast, I'm literally looking at a soul vehicle right here. Soul. Your soul is going to activate instantly. Okay. And all you have to do is focus your mind on your true ability and on the state that you would be in if you were using your true ability. This is where Neptune and Pisces enables you to imagine. And if you get too caught up in Virgo, where I don't see it really happening, or is it really happening? Taurus is 12th house to you. The 12th house is invisible. It's unseen. It's unconscious. So all you have to do is be in that state, and this is what's going to guide you. Oh shit. So thank you, Jalen. So all you have to do is just focus your mind on what this is, and this is going to unfold for you. All right. Especially as soon as the moon goes into Cancer and trine Saturn and Neptune. And you being in that state is like tuning in your mind into a radio frequency. Once you're in tune to that, then you know you can get what is meant for that frequency. Okay. So right now in my head, I know my true ability, and I'm not waiting for evidence to prove it. I'm creating it as a creator in my reality. So I'm imagining in every scenario what I would do with this ability as if I'm doing it. It's real in my mind. That's what's going to project it real out here. And I am rewiring my brain. I'm planting the seeds in my brain to respond to every situation using this ability, imagining what will happen as I be this. This is the mutable sign of being. You don't have to do anything For any of you who heard what I said and are saying, all right, cool, peace dealer, I'm going to activate my ability. What do I have to do? Nothing. If any of you do anything, you're doing too much. You have to be it. That will inspire what to do, and then you will have. Get ready to have fun, because the more fun you have with this, Mars and Venus and Leo, the more strength through your heart will affect this very powerfully. And the reason why I'm very excited about this is that at the apex of 26 degrees and then 27 Neptune, especially when the moon goes 27 square this is going to hit so fast. You just had 325 people and 10 for you to activate your true ability. This is what you're going to now integrate over the next 3 months: Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. Okay. And with the activation of this, as you are being it, you're going to align with the metaphysical, extra dimensional facet of yourself. Let's get it. That exists beyond you here physically. Shout out to Pharaoh, and is going to put you in a position to step into this. By the way, we're switching up me and my team, Mystical Illuminations, starting Cancer season. We're switching up the way we're doing consultations. So I'm going to add a few extensions. I've had a call line for years. I just never promoted it. So for those of you who want to talk to me and the team per minute, that's going to be available. Okay. So if you guys want to call in, I'm going to have office hours. You're going to be able to purchase time to speak per minute, and I'm gonna launch that very soon, and it's gonna be freaking awesome. All right, shout out to Pharaoh. Pharaoh's gonna be one of them. Janice, Marcy. All right, shout out to Callie. So shout out to the, and see, my abilities are unlimited. Many of you if are wise to the fact that there's nothing you can't do. You just have to imagine it. Okay. So the reason why this is very, 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 very important is not only are we on the verge of legitimately stepping into this right now, okay, the actuality of what you're activating as soon as the new moon activates is going to be very clear. I feel like if Neptune wasn't square this, it would have gone over your nose or over your head. But Neptune square this, I'm going to be honest, it's going to hit you with synchronicities over the next 2 hours, starting now, that is going to smack you in the face. Just get giddy, just get excited. Fully, fully, fully envelop yourself in your imagination, because the quality with which this is going to rock your world is going to inspire you to remember that there's nothing you can't accomplish. All you have to do is just be it. All right. You can be anything you want to be. I have to be careful about how that sounds. You can be relative to the alignment of who you are, right? But despite that, I just want you to understand why this is just going to hit out of nowhere. And it didn't come out of nowhere. You spent the past 3 months literally evolving. So the activation that you're kicking in is getting ready to have a sun in Cancer sextile Jupiter in Taurus. The sextile is the open door since the sun conjunction with Jupiter and Aries. So you're going to feel your evolution as it's already happening. Thank you, Zeta. And that's really all I wanted to share. The moon is going to go into Leo when the sun goes into Cancer. That's going to manifest the strengthened, courageous, passionate understanding of what power you're manifesting. And then the moon is going to go into Virgo, and you're going to understand the details of the psychic power you're activating. And then the moon is going to be in Libra, and that quarter square is going to balance how specifically you balance what powers you're activating with other people. The moon in Scorpio is going to fully express the wisdom of how to intensify what direction to feel into, so that you're literally fueling these new abilities. And then the moon in Sagittarius is going to ascend your behavioral understanding of how to actually perceive and see at a higher level what powers you are activating and at this point integrating. Boom. Full moon in Capricorn, you are using Capricorn, your superpowers, Cancer. Can I get an amen? That's going to lead into the new moon in Cancer opposite Pluto. And boy, you are going to feel the power. Okay. So before you feel the power, new moon in Gemini is pretty much preparing you to understand what this is, what this power and ability is, and what to actually activate in this power and ability. Okay. I'm really excited about this. And it's really amazing because once again, you don't have to know what to do because you just have to be it. So if you believe that you have the ability, the true ability to materialize anything you think and make it happen, then imagine that moving forward. And you will see the universe respond with synchronicities to align you as you co create that. But it's nothing that you have to try to do. Really, literally, just have fun with it. And I'm just so grateful for you guys because we have grown so much as a gang, Infinity Gang, as a group, as a collective. I think a transit like this is it may have some of you shed a tear because the autonomy here that this is going to break you through. I'm going to be honest with you. Given what is happening with the World Economic Forum, people in Australia are saying that, hey, if you took that thing and it screwed you up, that's your responsibility, as if they didn't force you to take it. Many of you are coming into the realization that the money that people are telling you to get like a slave is not going to be worth much. The dollar could crash, gold and silver could become useless, and you have been made to believe that you are a slave to these systems, but you literally have a genius brain, soul, and spirit. The key to this is your key, your magic, your power. You are what you've been looking for. And this is not just some saying, you literally now have the tools to uplift yourself just using your own abilities through this. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Everything you've ever wanted, you are in a position to make happen. So, whereas other people are going to be killing themselves or slumped in depression because they feel like they don't know how to get through these times, you literally have a brain. You can engineer the solution through your literal imagination. And this is where I bring us back to the whole notion of you building your ark. Noah's Ark, ladies and gentlemen. You are around a society of people who think you're delusional because you dare to dream. And yet it's your dreams that are going to get you through this because we're not escaping. We're not trying to get out of this. We're getting through this. This building of your ark is going to look stupid to people, just like Noah looked stupid building his ark. Every time you build on this imagination that's yours and no one can take from you, you're literally seeing elements of this project into your reality. And it's so dope because you got it like that. And you have just finished activating it. You have just finished building the beginning parts of this arc. Now we're getting ready to integrate and fill in the arc with necessities, right? There's still 2 more years of building, but this is still very, very powerful. You really, really, really need to, okay, clap for yourself because it's almost as if like you've gained the momentum from paddling on the boat. Now it's time to direct where you're going to take the boat. Direction, cardinal, Cancer. Through what direction of feeling to fuel this. All right. The quality of fuel you're going to use, how intensely you want to actually feel in that direction. So I'm just really grateful because now that you're getting ready to define these abilities, it's time to integrate them. It's time to now imagine and practice the utilization through the activation of these thoughts that are going to be supercharged like never before. Okay. So, with that being said, let us once again share in unity this intention to activate our true ability And as we do this, yep, that's an infinity right there. That's an infinity that just passed through because we infinite. Okay. As we do this, all right, keep your mind focused on what to be. What is the beingness of you who's using this ability, who's experiencing this, and saturate yourself in your imagination because Neptune's going to co sign that. And get ready for the magic. All right. Get ready for the magic. If you want to go anime route with this, you did manifest that shit, bro. If you want to go anime with this and like say the name like you're in an anime, infinity attack. You know what I'm saying? Infinity, man. Like if you want to do that, you can. This is really just about being in the state. So if that helps you be in the state, do that. Don't worry about what to do. Be. That's it. The Cancer season is doing, okay, and the doing is the cardinal action of feeling. So once you be in that state, you're going to feel to reinforce that state. But for now, with this Gemini new moon, over the next 48 hours, you are receiving some of the most crucial insight about what abilities you are activating. And if you are ready, some of you for the first time, to step into the next level. I have to be careful what I'm saying because some of you have been using supernatural abilities your whole life and you didn't even know it was supernatural, right? You've been thinking it's normal. It's not normal that you could do what you do. So you're coming into this next cycle of evolution. And with Jupiter on here, it's one thing, but you want to be very mindful because now you've reached a level that these dark forces and insecure people who telepathically project their insecurities on you can't really reach you anymore. Some of these people are really evil out here because they're weak. And now you're going to be able to blast back on these fools just by succeeding and shining to where they're going to be begging to have a seat on your table. And the table and the roles are going to be completely flipped. Another infinity. So, with that being said, um, just don't pay it mind. Like someone has said in the chat, like Jordan said in the chat, this is really just their admission of defeat, but they have too much pride to actually say that. But that's just what it is. Titan towing. Jordan, wow, that's crazy. And the synchronicities will guide you moving forward. Please know that there's an aspect of yourself outside of time that is guiding you through time. And all you have to do is tap into that and just stay focused and be what you want to experience. It's as simple as that. Okay. Detach, detach, detach. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not only an honor to have done this with you because we did this, there's going to be a hyper accelerated quality with which once I end this broadcast, this is going to rubber band bounce you through that direction. So just enjoy it, have fun. All right. And until next time, I will see y'all. All right. Godspeed.